Greetings all, Dr. X here. Welcome back. All right, on today's video, I thought we'd go ahead and take some time and I'd show you how to do journal entries that include sales tax as well as bank credit card fees. The company we'll be working for today is Cotton Clothing Shop. It is a retail business and it had the following cash receipts. All of these transactions right here are the cash receipts. And the sales tax for the company is 6%. So we'll be using 6% for sales tax. All right, so you're going to go ahead and prepare general journal entries. Some people call these the cash sales journal. For this exercise, we're just going to go ahead and call it a general journal. Some of the transactions will be on page 20 and some will be on page 21. Okay, let's get to the first entry. The first one is for December 1st. We received payment on account from Michelle Anderson in the amount of $1,500. So we entered December 1st. We received cash in the amount of $1,500, and that was on accounts receivable from Michelle Anderson. So we're crediting $1,500 to Michelle Anderson's accounts receivable. Next entry is December 2nd. We received payment on an account from Anderson Manufacturing in the amount of $550. So this is the same as the first entry. We're debiting cash in the amount of $550. And this time for accounts receivable, we are giving credit to Anderson Manufacturing, still in the amount of $550. So that takes care of the second entry. On to the third. Okay, on to December 7th. Now for this one, we're going to need multiple entries. Cash sales for the week were $3,100 plus tax. That's going to be our first entry. And then the second entry we'll have for December 7th is the bank credit card sales for the week of $1,000 plus the bank credit card fee. So let's start with cash sales for the week, December 7th. So we'll debit cash and we'll credit sales and sales tax payable. So we're debiting cash because cash is coming into our account and it's coming in from sales and sales tax payable. So for these transactions, when you're doing sales and sales tax, the total amount of sales was $3,100. That gets debited. And then for sales tax, it's 6% of this amount. So I just do 0.06, which is 6%, or in the calculation, you can type in 6 and a percentage sign, and it will calculate how much the tax was on the sales amount. So the amount of cash you're bringing in as a debit is the sum of these two, which is basically this plus this, or you can use the auto sum function to come up with this total amount. So that's how much you're debiting. Now, remember, this transaction has two parts. So the second part, you're going to debit cash. You're also going to debit bank credit card expense, which is the fee that you'll be paying at 3%. And all of that is because you had sales and you had sales tax payable. All right, so let's start off then with the entry for sales. There was $1,000 that you made in sales on the bank credit cards. So you took in from people's bank credit cards $1,000. And remember, tax on sales is 6%. So that accounts for your sales. Now, when it comes to the bank credit card expense, they're going to charge you that 3% on everything that came in. That includes sales and sales tax payable. So to calculate this, you'll need to add sales plus sales tax payable at 3%, and that's how much you're going to pay for your bank credit card expense. Now, if the total amount of sales here is $1,060, then the total amount on this side needs to also be $1,060. So to figure out how much is left, you add sales plus sales tax minus the amount that you're paying for the bank credit card expense. And this then becomes the total amount of cash that's coming in. So that takes care of our entry for December 7th. We've got the cash that sales as well as the bank credit card sales accounted. On to December 8th. On December 8th, you received payment on account for Jay Gordon in the amount of $850. So December 8th, you bought in cash from one of your accounts receivable. Hey, why do I keep spelling accounts receivable wrong? Hold on, let me check. Let me correct those. Okay, fixed. Now the amount you bought in was $850. So debit and credit match. You're done with December 8th. On December 11th, Michelle Anderson returned merchandise for a credit of $50 plus tax. December 11th. So anytime you have a customer returning sales that you sold to them on account, then you're going to give credit to their account and you're going to debit your sales return and allowances. Your entry will be for sales return and allowances as well as sales tax payable. So both of those will be on the debit side, and accounts receivable for Michelle Anderson will be on the credit side. So your allowance was $50. You're giving her a $50 credit. Tax on that $50 is 6% of the amount, which is $3. So the total amount you'll be giving Michelle as a credit will be the $50 plus the sales tax payable, both of those. So the total amount will be $53. And that'll take care of the return merchandise, including tax. Okay, so we've taken care of the first page. Now, the rest of this will be entries on the second page. So let's scroll down to there. Starting with the 14th, we'll start with that transaction. Cash sales for the week were $2,750 plus tax. Bank credit card sales for the week were $850 plus tax. Bank credit card fee is 3%. Okay, so we've already done a transaction that includes bank fees. Let's just copy all of that down and then we'll just change the numbers. Okay, great. So cash sales for the week this time, instead of $3,100, they were $2,750. Now, because we already put the formulas in there, everything else got filled out for us. So it was cash on the debit side, and then sales and sales tax payable on the credit side. Sales were $2,750. Here's the tax, and here's the cash then that gets debited, that gets increased. Now, for the second part of the assignment, it says bank credit card sales for the week were $850 plus tax. So all we need to enter is the $850 here. And because we already have the formulas put in, and we'll go ahead and change the formulas for us, we just need to change this to the 14th. Okay, that takes care of the entries for the 14th. See, it's easy if you get the formulas right in earlier entries, then you can just copy them down. Receive payment on account from Tony Williams. Now, it'd be just as easy to copy this one down, but I'm just going to go ahead and enter it. Accounts receivable, T. Williams, and that takes care of that journal entry. Next, on December 21st, Anderson Manufacturing returned merchandise for a credit of $20 plus tax. Now, we've already done this one. Remember on December 11th? Let's copy that over. Paste it here. The date is the 21st. And instead, we're doing a sales tax allowance. The amount that we're giving credit to is $20. But this is not for Michelle Anderson. Instead, it is for Anderson Manufacturing. So then on December 21st, we had cash sales in the amount of $3,000. Now notice for this one, there is no bank credit card sales. So then we'll only account for sales and sales tax payable on this. So total sales will credit $3,000. Sales tax payable is 6% of total sales, and we debit cash $3,180. So that takes care of the entry for cash sales for the week. Now, the final entry is December 24th. Now, for this one, we received payment on an account from Raymond Clark in the amount of $1,850. So we debit cash for $1,850, And accounts receivable for R. Clark, we credit $18.50. And that will take care of the last entry. So let's double check that the debits equal the credits. So on that page, they equal one another. Let's see, ensure that it does for page 20. And it balances on both sides. So credits and debits equal one another. And that takes care of today's video. Listen, if you're interested in testing your knowledge based on what you've seen in today's video and a couple of the other videos that I've put up about normal balances, please feel free to follow the link below to a practice quiz that I've created especially for those of you who want to do a little practice. All right, so all you have to do is click on the link. It'll take you over to my webpage, and you can download a copy of a 5-question practice quiz. And yes, it comes with the answers. Hopefully, that'll help you as you prepare for your next exam. Thanks for watching, and have a terrific week.